I'm a counsellor and psychotherapist, so obviously I think it's very useful in those areas. But I think TA is useful in any area which involves people interacting, and I think that's what TA is about.
I really love working with people on the stuff that's come through their family, unresolved issues from sometimes way back in the past, previous generations. And it all works within the ego state, the parent ego state.
So do I think TA is an effective tool? Absolutely, yes. It's a lovely tool to work with both in the short term and in the long term. I think it's one of those tools that we can use to work sort of at a shallow level and to work in real relational depth.
I work with a lot of couples who often come quite far on in their difficulties, so it can be really challenging work. And the other area I work a lot with is sexuality and relationships in general.
I use TA well in all the areas where I work with people. I use it in my own interactions with people. I use it to teach people things. I teach in the health service. I teach a lot of mental health professionals and some doctors.
I use it to help foster carers and looked after children understand relationships and what might be going wrong with relationships, to actually make sense of the very complicated world that they're living in.
In my work as an associate hospital manager, I find it very effective because it enables me to engage with patients and their thinking.
Recently I've been doing a lot of transition work with people who are approaching retirement age or people older than that, thinking about giving up their homes. So a lot of things around loss and transition. What do I do? How do I move to the next stage of my life?
There's lots of models that I can use to really simply explain to people and help them to understand what happens for them.
Teach little tiny bits of it, particularly to clients when I'm working short term at the GP surgery, because it means they've got something immediate that they find helpful and take away and apply that helps them understand their own process.
And I find that people get it, and it helps them to understand, to realise what's been going on for them, and that in itself is therapeutic.
Because people start thinking in a different way. They allow themselves to stop and have the option to do things differently.
I used to work in a very multicultural kindergarten, and I think that TA really helped me to help children to discover others, to live in group and to be tolerant.
I find it very effective because I have very clear option of what can be a solution for the system or for the client.
As a psychologist, I'm doing assessments for the courts. I work in child protection, in criminal areas and personal injury areas.
I'll have someone who's got a problem with their boss, and their boss is not reacting to them the way they should, and we could draw the 3 circles and I could say, okay, this is your boss, this is you, and then we could draw where the conversation went, and they get it, and instantly, without shame, they know how to manage the situation.
I was working with psychotics in a residential community, and I wanted to do further training, and I was told, and it was suggested to me to do a TA course, and I found that really marvellous in understanding the functioning of psychotic people, and that's how I started my journey.
I apply TA in organisations, and I work with teams and leaders and small business people, and the TA gives them confidence. I think at the base of it, that's the key thing that I use it for. So lots of permissions, lots of affirmations, and the confidence for them to do things.
I do quite a lot of work at one of the top universities in the UK, and I use TA theory to back up particularly concepts around leadership and change management.
I guess I've been in this business for so many years, I wouldn't be in it if it wasn't effective. But how effective it is, I stop and I think about all the clients that I've worked with who have changed their lives. I think about the organisations I've worked in that have radically changed the way in which they work with their employees, their management, their teams, and I know that TA works.
certainly if I keep it to myself, it's quite useful. But if I start to share it with my friends and my partner, then sometimes I get told to keep it to myself a bit. But no, it's very useful.